You're probably eager to add some action to your game since it's, well, essentially static. Unfortunately, before we can add the fun bits, there's some theory you must learn first. Some of this theory was covered in previous videos, but it's still good to review. Now, if you're already familiar with the concept of object-oriented programming, or OOP, feel free to skip this video and jump ahead to the next one. Okay, Kotlin is an object-oriented programming language, which means that most of the code you'll write involves objects of some kind. Remember how your app has a class named main_activity, which is derived from app compact activity? This class contains references to text view and button instances. Well, those are all objects. When you write a Kotlin app, sometimes you'll be using some pre-built objects such as buttons or text views, and sometimes you'll be making objects of your own, such as when you want to create a new activity with custom functionality based on an existing activity object. But what is an object exactly? Programmers like to group related functionality into objects, each of which has a particular job. For example, you might have an object whose job is to display text on the screen, like a text view, or another object is to respond to user taps, like a button. Each object takes care of a specific part of the program. In a full-blown app, you could have potentially hundreds of different types of objects. As you noticed, even TimeFighter, simple as it is, already contains at least 3 objects that you interact with directly. An object can have both data and functionality. For example, consider the Hit Me button in TimeFighter. First, it has some data, such as the text of the title, the color of the title, its position on the screen, its width and height, and so forth. It also has some functionality, such as the ability to recognize when a user taps on it and trigger an action in response. In object-oriented programming terminology, the data is known as properties and the functionality is called methods. You've already seen 3 properties in the main activity class, which is, as you now know, is an object. These are the 2 text views and 1 button instance you added to refer to the relevant controls displayed on the screen. These properties will be used by your main activity class later on to implement the functionality of the app. The actual functionality will be implemented by way of 1 or more methods. Properties are also sometimes known as instance variables. This is because a property contains values relevant to a specific instance of an object. But what are variables? A variable allows an app to remember things. Think of a variable as a temporary storage container for a single piece of data, like an image of a cat in a hat. You don't just put stuff in the container and then forget about it. You will often replace its contents with a new value. For example, maybe you want to replace the cat in the hat with a dog on a hog. That's the whole point behind variables. Their stored values can vary. You indicate variables in Kotlin by preceding the variable or property name with a var keyword. If the value will not change, meaning it's not a variable, then you would use the val keyword to indicate that it is a value. But you probably won't see that as much as you would see the var keyword. In Kotlin, you configure each variable to store a certain type of data. For example, an image variable can only store images, not text. You can think of variables as being similar to children's toy blocks. The idea is to put the right shape in the right container. The container is the variable and the type determines what shape fits. The shapes are the possible values that you can put into the variables. Remember how we specified the find view by ID should return a button or a text view depending on the variable when we set up the UI references? We were doing that to make sure that the right type of values were stored in the relevant variables. I said variable is a temporary storage container, but how long will it keep its contents? Well, each variable has a certain lifetime that depends on exactly where you are in your program when you define that variable. This is known as the scope of a variable. The variable defined within a method is known as a local variable and will last for the duration of the execution of the method. A variable defined at the class level which is what a property is, will last as long as the class stays around. The thing that provides functionality to an object is commonly called a method. In Kotlin, you will see the term function used to refer to methods. Some other programming languages also use the terms procedure or subroutine. A method is simply a function that belongs to an object. OnCreate in main activity is an example of a method. You can tell it's a method because the line says fun, short for function, and the name is followed by parentheses. The area inside the curly braces is where you add your code that performs the functionality. This is also known as the body of the method. Each line of code you add to the body is executed one after the other.